Good evening, everyone, and welcome to ATP Live. This is a special edition because today is actually ATP 11th anniversary. So, happy anniversary to ATP Pediatricians Foundation. To all of us, actually, exactly 11 years ago. Today is actually ATP Day, exactly 11 years ago Ask the Pediatricians Foundation was launched, okay, on Facebook. That's where we started. And so we are super grateful to be celebrating our 11th anniversary. Obviously, it's ATP Live Monday as usual, but today is our anniversary special. So, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Gemisola Boyde. I'm a pediatrician and founder CEO Ask the Pediatricians Foundation. So, it's my pleasure to be here today. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Kindly share the video. Kindly share our video. And I'm also just going to do the same. So today is a day for you to tell us how you found ATP. If you have any words for us, feel free to share. Of course, you can still ask your children health questions. Anniversary doesn't stop us from doing our work. It's always about the children. So thank you, Hope Omeje. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Happy anniversary to us all. So I'm just going to quickly share the video and pin it as well. So everybody join us. Come and say hello to us. So we will be taking goodwill messages. We'll be taking congratulations, happy anniversary messages at the same time. Feel free to ask questions about the health of your children, and I'm going to be here to answer them all. So I just want to quickly pin the videos to the in the group so that people can say it. If you're watching on the YouTube channel or Instagram, you can just drop your comments, your questions, any messages straight away, and I'm going to say it. If you're watching on our page as well, you can do the same. But if you're watching on our uh, if you're watching on our Facebook group, then you have to click on the videos for you to be able to drop your questions. So I'm just trying to find my video in the groups and then I can post it. Uh, okay, I'm looking for the video. The video is disappeared. Okay, let me look for the video again. Let me share it. Okay. Welcome everyone. Maybe I didn't share the correct video. Maybe I shared the um okay, yeah. So let me share the video. Okay, and then share it to my story. I think I shared the okay. I'm coming, I'm just sharing the video. Okay, special anniversary edition. Okay, all right. So I think I've done the sharing. Then let's do a little bit of the pinning. Okay, Hope, I can see your question. Just give me a minute to share, and then we can now start taking messages and then pinning it as well. Okay, yeah, okay, good. I've done it. All right. So let's share the groups. Okay. Okay, good. I think I'm done with my sharing. Uh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. So thank you so much, everyone. And okay, good. Good evening. Good evening once again, everyone. I've just done a little bit of sharing. I'm posting on our Facebook groups and all that. So welcome to ATP Live Special 11th Anniversary Edition. Thank you so much for joining us today. So today is a special anniversary edition. So we'll still take your questions and your answer. Um, but if you have any other thing you want to say for those who are joining us just to celebrate us today, feel free to drop your goodwill messages. Feel free to share your experience about ATP. We're still going to allow you to do that on our groups and all that, but feel free to also just tell us how it has been for you, how long you've been in ATP, and how the journey has been. So thank you so much for joining us. Instagram, thank you so much. YouTube, thank you. And you're all welcome to ATP Live Monday. All right, so I'm just going to take a question by Hope, who is our first person to be here today. Say your baby is 13 months old. He has not taken the 1 year vaccine. I don't think we have any 1 year vaccine unless you're talking about the vitamin A. So there's vitamin A given at 6 months, at 1 year. So you can always go and take it. But the next vaccine, if you're in Nigeria, is at 15 months, and that will be your measles too. So you still have time to go take your measles too at 15 months. So vitamin A, strictly speaking, is not a vaccine, and it is not too late to take it. So you can always catch up on anything. If you mix any immunization, whenever you remember, you can always go for it and you can always catch up on it. So there's no problem. It's never too late. Okay, so you can go for the vitamin hair. And there's no teeth yet. Yes, some children don't have teeth until 13 months. Since your baby is 13 months, I don't think there's any problem, but I would just recommend seeing a dentist. I don't know whether you've seen a dentist. The dentist actually wants to see your baby on their first birthday. Once the baby is 1 year, that is their first dental appointment. So kindly see the dentist. So they can also use the opportunity to examine. They can do their X-ray because they can see the teeth, whether they are inside the gums are just about to come out. So they will be able to do that. So feel free to check your dentist for that. Nothing to worry about. Okay. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Charity. Happy blessed anniversary. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Yes, Dr. Ifeoluwa Adeoti is our National Director, HTP. Thank you so much for coming online. If you want to join in the studio, I can put the link for those who want to join. I think today is a day where we can allow guests to people want to join in the studio. I think I'm happy to share. For those who want to join me in the studio to drop their message, live is fine. If you want to drop it as a comment, it's also fine as well. So feel free to do it in any way you want. But like I said, today is our anniversary edition. All right. Oh, why my Facebook video is not going? Comment is not going through. All right. Let me try again. Okay. I think it's gone through now. All right. So, how did Active Pediatrician Foundation started? Okay, it was just. I'll just say it's just something that dropped. Okay, so before then, I've always been on Axipedia. I've always been on Facebook. I think I was on groups like Babes Redefined and Adorable Mom. So I was on those groups, and I love the groups. I love women group and women's community supporting women, and we are always supporting each other. And one of the things the parents come to those groups to do is to ask for support. And of course, one area where mothers and women generally need support is about their children's health. And so we do get a lot of questions. And of course, everybody wants to assist any mom who is asking questions about the health of their children. And then I realized, but then we see like maybe one question, you have like hundreds of comments. And in those comments, there will be all sorts of answers. Thank you, Christy. Okay, K1 from Instagram. Say hello, ma. Happy anniversary. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. We appreciate you. And she's always, I would say, like hundreds and hundreds of comments. And what's always amazed me is that the comments are always the opposite. You know, somebody will say do this, somebody will say don't do that, do this. So I find out that many of the mothers are actually left more confused at the end of the whole exercise than at the beginning. So, you know, you've come to ask a question, you need help with your child, and then you get so many answers that some of them are contradictory to each other, and then you are kind of more confused at the end of the day than at the beginning. And for me, as a pediatrician who works with children, you know, who is a doctor for children, some of the advice that people gave, they kind of, I'm like shaking reading them, because I know that people are trying to help. People are very sincere and they really just want to help the mom or whoever is asking questions, but they are actually giving something that can kill a child, you know. So that is how bad some of those advice, like I say, you know. And so I realized that parents need a platform where they can get, because when it comes to the health of children, it's not a democracy of opinion. You know, many things on Facebook or social media is always, you know, whoever can shout loudest, whoever can very strong opinionated, you know, carry the vote. It's not a democracy. It's either there's the right or wrong, and we're talking of things that have implication for life. So it's very important that people get the right answer. So I realized that we need a platform where parents can get answers to the questions, and they can trust it. It can be trusted. A reliable, a trustworthy platform. And that is how Ask the Pediatrician started exactly 11 years ago. I can still remember the very first post that went on live. I'm sure we'll post that during the week. So, and yeah, so today we are over 700,000, from one person to over 700,000 membership. And beyond what we're doing online on Facebook, we've gone offline to the communities to do a lot of outreaches. We've done a lot in Nigeria, even in Ghana, outside Nigeria. So yeah, we are very, very grateful to God for how He has used this platform to be a blessing to everyone, including myself, and for all the children that we've been able to support. So that is what Ask the Pediatrician, that's how we started. And so it's been 11 years of health education, health promotion for our children online, but also offline. And we've been to every state in Nigeria, including the FCT. So we've left our mark everywhere. And so we have a raising to celebrate. So thank you so much for joining us to celebrate our 11th anniversary. So feel free to join me. Feel free to come into the studio. The StreamYard link is for those who want to come into the studio to give their own feedback or testimonial about ACP. So Opomija says it's been 1 year here. Wow, you are really relatively new with us, but that is good. Whether 1 year, whether 11 years, we thank you for being with us. And I appreciate the help I've received. Thank you, Ma. Happy anniversary. Thank you. say, oh, your sister introduced me to this family. Thank you so much. And that is actually the thing about ATP. ATP, we didn't, when people started groups, then they were like, oh, we should do promotion, we should try and get people, all those gimmicks. I was like, I don't really have time for all this kind of stuff. But people who are benefactors, who have been blessed in the group, they eventually also bring other people into the group. And also those who are our volunteers. At the time, we have over 2,000 volunteers all over the country. Most of them actually started by coming to our Facebook group, and then from our Facebook group they begin to also they have been blessed and they feel like I also want to pay it forward, and that's how they joined us. And this week we are going to still give opportunity for more people to volunteer for Ask the Pediatricians Foundation throughout the country, so and online and offline as well, you can volunteer. So many of, I remember our first outreach in Makoko in 2016. I mean, we didn't even have any face-to-face meeting with anyone. And for the very first time we're starting our outreach, 200 people showed up. I mean, that was massive for an organization that doesn't have like this a meeting point and all that. Just from Facebook, a lot of people showed up. And I remember how we were able to help the Makoko children, massive, massive, was like a carnival, our first outreach in Makoko. And then before you know it, we started doing outreaches in Kwara, then we went to Ogun State, and then before you know it, we've done outreaches in all the states of the country. And I can't even count how many outreaches we've done. Our own outreaches, school outreaches, outreaches that we did in partnership with organizations, faith-based organizations, churches. So it's been a journey, but we really thank God for it to 2 years after. So thank you, Hope, for joining us today. For those who are just joining us, welcome to ATP Live Monday. It's the ATP Live Monday, so feel free to ask any question you may have about the health of your children. But it's also our 11th anniversary. Exactly today, 11 years ago, Activation started on Facebook. And so we really are grateful to be here. And so feel free to also give us goodwill messages, and we will appreciate that. Anu, thank you. Say happy anniversary to ATP. God bless you all. Thank you so, so much. I could see some of you have dropped your messages and on the Facebook group, under our posts, under our anniversary banners. Thank you so much for doing that. We appreciate all the lovely, lovely messages that you've dropped for us. And yeah, it's been a long journey, but we're happy that we're still here today, and we're happy that we've been able to touch more lives. So I am just happy for you to drop your comments, ask questions about the health of your children. You can also ask questions about ATP, where we're going, and where we're looking forward to be in another few years. So of course there'll be a lot of uh up and downs. A lot of Japa really affected us as a group, because a lot of us left the country. Many people are in Canada, UK, US. So we started in Nigeria, but we're all over the world now. But despite that, we still are happy to be here, and still doing outreaches. Even this May, last 2 months ago, a lot of outreaches still happen in Lagos, in Kwara, in Akwa Ibom. A lot of communities know about ATP. Beyond the people that are reached by ATP online, we also have a lot of people that are reached by ATP offline. So it's been a journey. So feel free to uh, share your own story with us, share your ATP story, and then feel free to um, um, ask any questions you may have about the health of your children as well. I'm happy to answer them. So even though it's our anniversary, if you are new and you are here to ask questions, don't feel like, oh no, today is just anniversary, I'm not going to ask questions. Feel free to ask your questions, and we'll try and answer them at the same time as well in the next 1 hour. But we're going to be celebrating our anniversary throughout the week. So it's a 1 week long anniversary. So yesterday, we started actually yesterday. I'm just going to post our events for the whole um, week. So yesterday was our anniversary Thanksgiving, and we hope that you join us, whether you posted on Facebook or not. the most important thing is that you were able to thank God for us on your in the church or on your in your own personal time with God. And obviously, we also are doing ATP Live today, which is our special ATP Live anniversary, 11th anniversary edition. And from tomorrow, we will take all the testimonies. So tomorrow, feel free to post on our Facebook group, on any of our platform, any of your impact, how ATP, your ATP story, basically, how has ATP impacted you and all that. So feel free to tell us your story. That will be on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, it will be us telling you ATP story over the last 11 years. We'll be telling our story, our journey, more like a documentary about how ATP has been, all the people that have been part of ATP, all the organization that has been part of our journey. We'll be telling that on Wednesday. On Thursday, we usually have a national quiz. So our quiz competition come on Thursday. It's going to be online, and it's going to be fastest fingers and the first person to get the highest scores. And I think we'll always pick three winners. So that will be happening on Thursday at 6 p.m. So make sure you are on the lookout for the link for the anniversary quiz, and we'll tell you what the winners are going to get. And on Friday, lots of people have been saying, "Oh, I want to be part of ATP. I also want to volunteer." So you can volunteer for ATP online. You can volunteer for ATP offline. So there are many opportunities for volunteering for ATP, and we are happy to for you to join us and to be part of our state chapter team or part of our online team. So we'll be doing our volunteer recruitment. Each state will recruit, and then we'll also do a lot of recruitment for our moderators and all that. So feel free to, if you are one of those who have been part of the team for a long time and you are wondering, I want to be part of this, I also want to join you, I want to give back. I don't just want to be recipients. So feel free to check out what the posts we'll be putting up in the groups, and then for you to sign up our volunteer forms, and then we'll get back to you. And then Saturday is our annual general meeting, which is for the volunteers, basically online as well. If you're a volunteer, we'll get that to you. And then finally, our chapter parties, an anniversary party will be on Sunday. So each chapter should have their own get together, anniversary dinner, or party, as the case may be. All right, so that's our program of events celebrating ATP at 11 years anniversary. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us. I don't think I have any questions, just anniversary greetings for now, but feel free to drop your questions. I know that some people are not joining us due to data issues and all that, but at least I'm happy my internet is good today. So that's amazing. Okay, so ATP started on Facebook group in on the 20th of July 2015, and we actually grew up with Facebook. Most of the things that happen on Facebook, we were part of the experimental people that helped Facebook to work out how groups could be and all that. And in 2017, after our first outreach so I'm going to be giving you one of all our milestones. After our first, we started online in 2015, just answering questions and all that, and it was open free for all kind of group. But then later we realized we need to have some control over questions and answers, and we started using what we call moderators even long before Facebook introduced that idea. We were the one that started it, and then Facebook now kind of formalized it for Facebook groups. Then we realized that there are a lot of people offline who really need our help more than the people online. People online, middle class and high class people, they have internet, they have smartphones, but a lot of people who need the pediatricians are living where they don't have smartphones, where they don't even have access to pediatricians. So we realized that we need to go take the message offline as well. And that is why we started community medical outreaches. and that was in 2016. So the group started in 2015. In 2016, in October 1st, 2016, we had our first community medical outreach in Makoko, Lagos, Nigeria. And it was over 1,000 children with so many, and it's so amazing how many people came who have never, known anybody. We all just met for the first time at the community outreaches, and many of them I still remember them to today. And that was our first event online. I mean, get together offline. And then, we realized that people want to donate money, and people were just trusting to give money even to my account at that time. So I realized we need to be a formal group, we need to be formalized. So ATP was registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission in 2017. That is our when we're officially registered with CAC, but we started 2015, first outreach 2016, 2017 we officially got registered, and then we continue. And then we realized, I think a couple posted something online about children in Kwara State, in a particular local government, where the children were practically lying on the floor, and that is their school, under the tree. We were really so heartbroken about that picture, and we decided to go to that school in Kwara. I'm trying to remember the name now. The name just skipped my brain, but I'm sure I'll remember before we finish. And then we went there. We first got them like mats, simple stuff to put on the floor. And then we realized they actually have a school, but the roof was damaged by a storm, and the government has been, playing them. So we decided to do something about it, and we raised over 3.5 million. We refurbished the school, and we went to that local community. The day we went there, that was in 2018, January. I will never forget. The whole village came to meet us. We really had a love time. So we did the outreach. We handed over the school to them. We also furnished the school. Very, very, very amazing time. And then that is how we started doing the charity part of ATP. Apart from doing medical outreaches, we support schools, and that's what we did. And then, so that is how we moved out of Lagos to Kwara. And so ATP started going beyond just Lagos to Kwara, and we had outreach in Kwara. And then from there on, we were lucky in that same 2018 to get the Facebook Community Fellowship Award, and that came with a grant of over $50,000. $50,000 given to us by Facebook, and we used that money to launch ATP in almost all the states, and we did multiple outreaches. We did a lot of mobile clinics. We did a lot of things. Thank God for Facebook. They really helped us. Launched a big platform at that time. So that was also in 2018, and then 2019 we did a lot of outreaches, and and that is how we now have over 42 chapters, over 2,000 volunteers at a point, and then the journey has continued, and we've grown in strength, from strength to strength, to where we are today. So we're grateful for how we have been able to move from our Facebook group to the number we have. But it's always not about the number, it's about the impact, it's about our ability to reach the children. And then we do get feedbacks of how people were really have been blessed on our groups. So that is our journey, that is our story. And of course, we've had a lot of also other challenges, because the more you do, the more the needs is endless. We're really looking forward to that day when no child in Nigeria is dying from preventable causes and all that. So we're looking forward to that day, and we are not there yet. And of course, most of all that we've done are things that were done by volunteers, people just volunteering to do these things and not getting a single dime. Most people who did things for ATP, all these outreaches, all these impact in the communities and all that. For our outreaches, we spend millions every year on our outreaches, and yet we don't have like a big donor sponsor apart from people like Facebook. Maybe with Friesland Campina has also been there for us, collaborated with us, a few organizations like that, but majority of it are from ordinary average people like you and I, putting our 1,000 naira, our 200 naira, our 500 naira together, and to do all these outreaches. And we are so, so grateful. So today I want to thank everyone who has been part of ATP Story. I want to thank everyone who has volunteered their time, all our volunteers, current, past, future, we thank you. And all our donors, those who have donated one thing or the other, even if it's 100 naira, even if it's 50 naira, even if it's 1,000 naira, we thank you. And all those who have volunteered their time, our doctors, our nurses, our lab scientists, everybody has done something or the other. Our non-medical, people always think it's only medical people that can volunteer for ATP. No. So in fact, majority of our volunteers are non-medical people. They help us with the logistics, they help us with refreshments. We also share what they call it, souvenirs, and they do all that. We give out clothes to children during our outreaches. We feed the children, we feed them healthy meals and all that. So we want to thank all our volunteers who have done that. Some of them are no longer in Nigeria, so they are no longer volunteering for ATP because ATP is mostly in Nigeria. But some of them are still donating money even though they are no longer in the country. So we really want to thank everybody. I know that we may not have the perfect record of everything everybody has done, but God definitely has a record of what everybody has done, and God is going to be the one to pay back everyone for everything that they have done. So thank you so much to all our volunteers, all our national leaders, admin, all our trustees, board of trustees, all our moderators. Oh my God, our moderators do amazing, amazing work. It's a lot of work. At time we're answering like 1,000 questions a week, and our volunteers are very, very thorough in making sure that the questions, to be an ATP volunteer or moderator is not a child's play at all, because people even tell us that even their own everyday job doesn't put as much demand on them. I mean, they are very thorough, the way they write the answers, the English has to be correct, everything, and they have to make sure they do it properly, put in the right references. People take these things for granted, but it's a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of data go into all that work. So really want to thank all our moderators for the amazing, amazing work they do. And yes, but without all the members, all those who use our platform, of course, there will be no ATP. So we also thank those of you who have been our members, who have been our beneficiaries. We also want to thank you for being part of our journey. So thank you so much, everyone who are watching. It's ATP Live Monday, so feel free to ask your questions. Don't be moved by all my talk. But because it's our 11th anniversary, I just felt like we should still talk about it. We're really committed to the Sustainable Development Goal 3. We want our children to live. We want our children to be healthy. We don't want children dying from preventable, from things that we can treat, things that we can cure. And it's very painful when we lose children. So that is what ATP is all about. We are all about the health and the welfare of children globally, but currently mostly in Nigeria, where we are formally registered. But we're still looking to expand to the whole of Africa, because our concern is sub-Saharan Africa, where we still have the highest number of children dying in sub-Saharan Africa. And so our vision in ATP, in working with organizations like UNICEF, the Federal Ministry of Health, and the rest of them, is to see no child dying from all these illnesses. And that's why we do a lot of health promotion. We do a lot of um, information. We do a lot of education, and we also treat children during our outreaches. We do a lot of them, and we do it for free. So because we know that most of our children are indigent, they don't have ability to pay. We also go to school because we believe in catching them young. So we've been doing like a lot of what we call teaching our children basic first aid, what to do when there's any medical emergencies and all that. We've been giving them, materials that like reminder uh, cards that they can have with them to know, oh, if somebody is bleeding from the nose, somebody is having a convulsion, if somebody is having a seizure, what do you do? We've been doing all that and we've done over 1 million of those materials that we've shared all over the schools in Nigeria. Of course, we really wish to do more. Obviously, funding is always a major challenge for a charitable organization like us, where everybody just have to chip in, and we know that the economy has really been wonderful. Even some of our COVID happened, COVID also affected, and a lot of organizations that used to support us, they too were recovering because of COVID. So it was quite a challenging time. But despite all these challenges all over the years, we are still here today. So thank you to everyone who has been part of the journey. Okay, I see that people have not asked any questions, but feel free to ask your questions so that uh, I can take them. All right. And then for those who are on the Facebook group, you really need to drop your you need to click on the video to drop your comments. Otherwise, I won't see them in my studio, but I can see a lot of comments directly in the group, like Shola, Alani UNC, happy anniversary, and so many other people saying a lot of things. So, okay, I think I have a comment here by Anu Olagunjoye. Okay, I think got a question. Yeah, I'm happy to answer questions no matter what. Okay, you said I'm getting introduced family food to introduce my baby to family food because I heard about what's about salts and seasoning. So it only takes old eggs, some brown. How old is your baby? Oh, it's 10 months old. Okay, so again, your question tells me why we started ATP. A lot of mothers are misinformed. In fact, and it's even worse now. In fact, when we started ATP, social media wasn't this bad in terms of misinformation. But now, like that time, people were giving answers based on what they know, and they are just being sincere. But now, people are even worse off, and that's why even Facebook has to start, flagging some posts and flagging some messages, and to let people know that those are misinformation. Information is power, knowledge is power. So wrong information can cause death. It is as bad as that. So and exactly the issue you are having right now, because I don't know whether you're on our Facebook group. We do have a guide session. We do have videos on complementary feeding, and I really want you to watch that. So all the misinformation about salt and seasoning is misinformation. Your baby can eat the normal food that you eat, from 6 months old. And you can season your baby's food to have a little bit of taste. We don't want, of course, children are not going to eat food that doesn't have taste. Even you as an adult, if you give yourself food that doesn't have taste, it's not the best. So if giving your child all these cereals and formula, you yourself, you already said it, your child is not balanced food at all. Your child is eating mostly carbohydrates and just a little bit of the egg, and that is not good. And because you're only giving formula and cereals, that is not appropriate. One of the things we try to do is to give you the balanced health information on how to feed your baby appropriately. And so, like I said, we have those videos on how to go about complementary feeding, and I encourage you to go through them. There are different food classes. We have what we call the carbohydrate food, like your cereals, like your tuber, yam, all those kind of things. We also have your protein food, like, and it can be animal protein, like your meat and your fish and your eggs. And then we can the plant protein, like your beans and legumes and all those other ones. Then we also have the fat and oil. We all know fats, we all know oil. We have our dairy food, like your milk, breast milk, formula, all the milk, the cheese, the yogurts. And of course, we also have veggies, vegetables, fruits and vegetables. We call them welfare food. So we have, of course, water is also just in a class of its own. So it is important that when your children are eating, they are eating from all these food classes. At every point, every meal must have 4 out of the 6. 4 out of the 6. So giving only like cereals and milk or cereals and egg, it's not, that is just like 2 out of all the 6 possible food classes. And I can't see a lot of vegetables. I can't see fruits here. So that is not proper. People used to talk about balanced diet. We've moved away from that now. We talk about adequate diet, but we want your child to have all this food mixed together. The problem is not seasoning. Seasoning is not, and I think sometimes we over, moderation is always key, but people sometimes overemphasize unnecessary stuff, and they don't emphasize the right stuff. So your child should be eating real food. The food that you eat from your kitchen is the same food your child can eat. Of course, the texture will be different. When you're starting at 6 months to 9 months, it's more of porridge like, more of semi-solid like, and all that. But by the time your child is getting to 10 months, going to 1 year, they should be taking more of like mashed, food and all that. And you can cook your food. If you cook rice or cook yam, you can add a little bit of salt to it, okay? All right. If you're making stew, you put a little bit of seasoning. Those are not what will cause harm. Those things do not harm your child, okay? So what you need to do is to make sure that you're moderate. In fact, most of the seasonings, most of the things that give you high sugar and high salt, it's not the one you cook in your kitchen. It is all those tinned products that you buy in the stores, because most of them have to be preserved. And during that preservation, that is when they had all these extra things. And you wouldn't even think of those ones as the one that are giving your child lots of salt and lots of sugar and all that. So if you go through those guides, guide 2 on complementary feeding, we actually have a video on what you should not give your child, all those pastries, all those things. But the real food you cook in your kitchen with a little bit of salt to it to taste is not harming your child, and that is the right way to feed your child. And the earlier you introduce your child to them, making sure you are adding vegetables, giving your child snacks that are healthy snacks like fruits and all that, make sure your child drink a lot of water, the child will not be constipated, and the child will have a balanced meal and adequate meal, and that is what the child needs for proper growth and nutrition. So that I believe you can go through it and you will do that. Your child's school is hard. The child has been constipation just because it's taking too much of the cereal and less of the fiber, less of veggies and all that. But you can do that, and of course you should keep breastfeeding and all that. So I hope you got that message. The baby's weight is not bad. It should be closer to like 9.5, but it's 8 is too enough. It's still not far, but I think you should just do better and give more of those other food. Okay. All right, you're giving me an updated information. Your baby is pumping breast milk because it will not latch. Why was baby not latching? Baby has been breastfeeding before. Again, that's another thing we need to be careful when we start complementary feeding. It is not a replacement feed. Some mothers just think I've done exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months, so now I'm going to shift to solids, and then they reduce breastfeeding. They don't mean it to do that, like they don't plan to stop or wean the child, but they begin to do a lot of much of those complementary food, and the child is always overfed with the complementary food. Again, that's why I want you to watch the video. There's a quantity that you need to give a child who is taking complementary food. There's a right quantity, there's a right frequency, and that child still needs to be taking breast milk. So most of these inadvertent weaning or unintentional weaning is because most mothers just replace all the meals they would normally have, all the time they would have normally breastfed the babies. They replace it with complementary feeds. So the child is always overfull, or because the child doesn't want to take breast milk. The breast sucking is a lot of work on its own. So I always tell mothers, you should not reduce your breastfeeding rate. you should keep breastfeeding. You are only adding the complementary feeds, and for like a 6 to 8 month old, just two extra feeds. The rest of it is still breast milk. And for a 10 month old like your baby, it should just be about 3 meals. The rest of it should be breastfeeding. So I think if you have not been breastfeeding frequently, and then try and breastfeed maybe through the night as well. Once it's about 6, 7, the child should not have any other food through bottle. Again, bottle feeding is another issue for babies. Some mothers give their complementary feeds through bottle. That's why they like all those cereals and all that. No, baby should not eat through bottle. They should feed with cup and the spoon at when they are taking complementary feeding. So see, 3 months is a long time to be trying. There's something definitely no. It's a difference if a child is not breastfeeding for 1 or 2 days because they are not feeling well or something. But a child who is not latching for 3 months, something is definitely wrong somewhere. So it is like the child has been weaned off breast milk. That is what has happened. But we can help you to get the baby back on breast milk, because the most important thing, number one, is to make sure the baby is well attached to the breast, and to reduce if you have been giving too much of the complementary. Because from my own experience, I'm not saying that's what happened here, but I'm just talking from my own experience. Most of the time, because mothers are giving all the meals as complementary feeds instead of doing the breastfeeding. And of course, when the baby is full, children don't overfill themselves. They don't want to suck again because they are already full. So if you give the age appropriate quantity and frequency of the complementary feeds, then the child will be having the breast milk in between, and especially throughout the night, the child should just have breast milk. You shouldn't be waking babies up to give them complementary feed. They should only be breastfeeding at night. From like 6, 7, they should have had their last complementary feed, and they should just only breastfeed. So you may, if you struggle with breastfeeding or there's any issue with breastfeeding, we prefer you come to your doctors, pediatricians, or your lactation consultant on time. We can always help you. We even now have one of our colleagues is doing a breastfeeding hotline, like a WhatsApp, where they can quickly give you advice. I think I've shared that before on our groups, but I can share it again. So it would be nice to do that. Pumping is yes, pumping is tiring. I can imagine you, but I won't really. I don't think I won't expect you to stop breastfeeding at 10 months. But what I would recommend is to try and get the baby back on breastfeeding. But it seems like if you've tried, you're really struggling. I think you need more of a professional support. So I don't know whether you're still listening. If you are still there, if you check on our Facebook group for our breastfeeding hotline, I've forgotten one of our doctors. She does a advice. I think you need more of that one-to-one advice on attaching the baby to the breast, and making sure you're doing the appropriate thing. So one of the challenge with feeding our children is that once we mess it up, sometimes it could be quite hard. It could be quite hard, but we can always get it right. We can always get it right. So I hope you are listening. If you're still listening, uh, there's still support that we can help you in getting your baby back on breast milk. But if you if you ask that question in our group for the breastfeeding WhatsApp hotline, it's a number where you can have contact with our breastfeeding lactation consultants. They can help you, and that will be helpful. Okay, I think we're having problem again with streaming to Facebook. Uh, oh my goodness. Okay, all right. Let me check. It's like our streaming to Facebook has been affected. Um, but let's see. Let's refresh it. Okay, I think it's okay. It's started again. Sometimes we have technical issues, but um, I don't know what really happened. Okay. Okay. I don't know what is Facebook issue with our group. I mean, uh, with the links. It sometimes happens once in a while, but it's okay. We're almost finishing anyway. Um, okay. We actually have over 10 comments on the Facebook. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's okay. Time is almost up anyway, but I'm not quite sure why the live streaming got terminated by Facebook. All right, let me just do it again. Okay, we'll just leave it like that. We finished anyway. All right, so on Instagram, Amusa Lawumi says, is there a vaccine for a 4-year-old? Amusa, if you are in Nigeria, we don't currently have a vaccine for a 4-year-old, but we do have vitamin A, which strictly speaking is not a vaccine, but we do have vitamin A that is given every 6 months from between 6 months and 5 years. So that is available. And of course, if your child has missed any of the other vaccines, your child can still take them. But apart from that, we don't really have any specific vaccine for 4-year-olds. If you are in Nigeria, but different countries have different vaccine schedule. But I'm assuming you are asking this question from Nigeria. So you can go through your immunization schedule. But we do have HPV vaccine, which is recently introduced, and that one is available at 7 years. From some, most of them 9 years though, but it can be given from as early as 7. But most people will give it at 9. So the next immunization will be 9 year old for your child. So you can check that one out, but there is no specific vaccine. But there are, and I'm talking of the Nigerian program on immunization schedule, Nigerian program on immunization (NPI) schedule. Of course, there are other vaccines that the government is not giving for free that is available if you want to give your child, like chickenpox vaccine and all that, which can be taken at any time, preferred from the age of 2 anyway. But you, if your child has not taken those one, you want to take them, you can, but remember you have to pay for them with your own cash. But in terms of the program, the ones that the government is paying for currently, we don't have um, any vaccine in Nigeria at for the age of 4-year-old. I hope that's helpful. Oh, yes, you are in Nigeria. Okay, good. Thank you for confirming that, because I always like to clarify, because we know people watch us from all over the world, even Nigerians outside the Nigeria. So that's why I do clarify. Yeah, but if you're in Nigeria, yes, we don't have anything for 4. But that does not mean immunization ends at 15 months. We still have immunization for 9-year-old, our HPV vaccine. So don't forget to take that. And if your child is also on vitamin A, you can also remember to take that as well. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for those who have joined us. I'm so sorry for those on Facebook. I don't know what happened to Facebook. They kind of terminated our live streaming. I don't always understand Facebook problems sometimes, but we got 45 minutes in on Facebook, so that is not too bad. But because it's linked to the Instagram and YouTube, so if I restart all over again, it's going to affect those of you who are already on Instagram and YouTube. So I'm not going to do it all over again. And already we're just 5 minutes into the end of the program. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. It's been our 11th anniversary special edition. Feel free to go to our Facebook group. Feel free to post and tell us how ATP has been, how long you've been with ATP, what impact ATP has made for you. We would love to read all those comments. And thank you so much, everyone who has been part of the ATP journey. Happy anniversary to us all. For those on Facebook, you are free to watch it on YouTube. The video will always be on YouTube. Thank God for that. So feel free to watch um okay, they say I can remove it. Feel free to watch um the full edition on YouTube. I think that will help. Okay, I'm just trying to see whether I can reconnect Facebook. They just told me what to do, but I don't know. Oh, okay, it's worked. It's worked. It's worked. Okay, I don't know whether Facebook people are say whether they can join now, whether they can say. If you can say Facebook, let me know. If not, we just have 3 more minutes. So sorry about that challenge. It's technology challenge. We'll keep dealing with it. Okay, but I think I'm just going to be saying goodbye. Remember our anniversaries for the entire week. Feel free to join us. Feel free to be part of it one way or the other. Feel free to celebrate with us. Feel free to tell us what else you think we can do to support you in your motherhood journey, in raising healthy children. So let us know. And of course, if you want to volunteer with us, remember Friday is our volunteer recruitment. And remember also that our anniversary quiz for those of you who like to win prizes is on Thursday. It's going to be very simple questions, opportunity for you to win. So join us as well. Have a wonderful time, everyone. And again, happy anniversary to ATP. We are grateful. Bye.